Technical difficulties. Wow, the microphone can hear the bass. Okay. This video is for B and a bunch of other people who wanted to know how I made my instrument. When I was little, we made this awesome washtub bass. Around that time, Make Magazine was a brand new thing, and it has inspired us to make all sorts of things, like this fretless PVC pipe bass. It's got a piezo speaker from a kid's toy, and an old S.E.A cable, a rubber foot from something, and an eye bolt up here for the tuner, and a bass string, of course. And you can play it like a stand-up bass, or like this. And it's also proud to be an American, as you can see. Last year, Chester Winowicki wrote an article in issue 33 of Make about Alvin Keach's banjo ukulele, or banjolele. In it, he gave instructions on how to build your own with cake pans, and he called it a panjolele. This is a really good article. You should read it. I put a link in the description below. My panjolele is similar, but today I'm going to tell you how I made it my own. I started with a solid block of walnut, 1.5 inches wide, 1.5 inches tall, and 2 feet long. I pre-sanded it to get it nice and smooth and straight. My dad drew up a template in Draw Plus, and I started by drilling holes for the tuners. Then I used the router table to route out this space in the middle of the head. After that, I used the bandsaw to cut out the basic shape, this part. After that, I rounded over the sides of the neck with the router and sanded everything nice and smooth. I notched out both of my cake pans so that the back one is flush with this piece at the tail, and the front resonator pan is flush with the fretboard. Since then, I lowered the front pan so that I have more room to pick and to strum. The front pan is just held on by the strings, and the back pan is held on with a screw that you can attach a lanyard to if you want. I made a nut and bridge pretty much like Chester recommended, but I also found some good info on nuts and bridges from Paul Hostetter from luthery.net. You can check out his link below. I actually got fret wire from a music store and cut slots in the fretboard and pounded in the wire. Look at all those nicely varnished Remy in Greg's backyard. Greg has linseed oil for his walnut forklift, so I used that. But this year when I needed to re-oil my panjolele, I just used walnut oil from Whole Foods. Assembly continues with installing the friction tuners, screwing on the back pan, installing the strings, and tuning it up. Chester's original project was aiming for a lower cost instrument. I had a budget that accommodated some nicer strings. These are nail gut or nylon gut strings, but I did have some success with fishing line. I originally made this to fit in my suitcase for my trip to Ukraine, and instead of buying extra sets of strings, I just brought fishing line in case one of these broke. One of the other differences is the way I tuned my strings. I've been learning to play guitar at the same time, so I tuned these like the top 4 strings of the guitar, but with the E an octave higher, like this. When you make your own, if you build it the same size as Chester's, you can use his measurements for your fret spacing. But if the size is different, you can use this formula. Just measure from the inside edge of the bridge to the inside edge of the nut, and divide that distance by the 12th root of 2, which is 1.05946, That'll give you the distance between the bridge and the first fret. And if you take that distance and divide that by 1.05946, you'll get the distance between the bridge and the second fret, and so on. All that's left to do is get some music and start playing. I want to say thank you to Ultimate Guitar for all the free resources, and thanks to Aldrin Guerrero of Uke Minutes and Ukulele Underground for getting me started. I like this instrument a lot because if you play it in the middle, it sounds like an ukulele. And if you play it near the bridge, it sounds like a banjo. Okay, we got all that.
Was
that too much rainbow connection?
No, I liked it.
Okay. I fumbled a little bit, but
that's okay.
I'll stop the recordings.
Okay.
So that should be good.